what better way to start the day than with this little face? Little Jubbers. I've got up in the barn. Oh, Hannes, I thought was going to throw his bowl over the door there. Oh, there's Twix. And oh, you can have a little leg scratch. And JB's up here this morning because he's got a very important job. He's going to be heading down to Stable Stays in a minute, where Hoytzer spent the night with some lovely guests who actually came here about 4 years ago, and they've come back for a return stay, very last minute. So they've had Hoytzer in with them for the night, and JB is going to go down now and give them a little wake-up call. Now he can go in their side of the stable, so I've already warned them that he might go in, try and empty their bags, try and pinch all the food. I'm dreading him tipping over the Christmas tree. Are you going to leave the Christmas tree alone, little man? I don't think he will. But luckily there's no electrics on it, so even if he tips it over, it's not a problem. There's Angel Eyes. He's had his breakfast. Good night. Oh, Jubbers, do you want to get going? Should we get you down to your buddy Hoytzer? Okay, I'll stop talking in a second. There's Annie. Annie, who I'm going to get out for a drive today. And then little Mabel. They've all had their breakfast. Now they're looking expectantly for their haylage, which they'll get as soon as Jubbers has been down to do his important wake-up call. These two have been having fun down in Stable Stays, and then they've just come up here to have a little run around and a play. They've both rolled, as they love to do in here. Little Jubbers has got the devil in him today. Oh, Hoytzer, is the little guy bullying you? Eh? He's not fair. We've got Annie over there, free reining. And Hannes is around free reining as well at the moment. Not quite sure where. You can have another roll. Jubbers, you going to come out with the carriage today? Because we're going to take Annie for a drive. We'll probably take JB along for the ride as well. Obviously not pulling the carriage, but doing a little bit of exercise. He doesn't do a huge amount, but he likes his little trips out behind the carriage. Are you weeding for me, Hoytzer? Thank you. That saves one of the jobs. He's trying to get the bits that he likes. We were having a chat about that the other day, the fact that horses, you know, they always know what's good for them and what's not good for them in the grass. And it's why all our fields, they're all old meadow grass. I never wanted to reseed them and put fresh stuff in. Had a horse, a Friesian, years and years ago. Very, very beautiful horse that came here for some training. And he got really sick after I'd taken him to his first competition because he'd never been exposed to much. And I'll never forget, he hadn't eaten for 10 days, and Neil, who you might have seen in one of the other videos, the vet, said, you know, there wasn't a lot more they could do for him. And I literally just let him out and let him roam free on the yard up here, and he went for a particular type of grass that they wouldn't usually eat. And he was just scoffing it, and he turned a corner and never looked back. and I believe is still around to this day. But you know, that's where nature takes its course, and they've got senses that we don't necessarily understand, but they know. So you can see Hoyts is probably just taking off the roots there that he didn't want to eat. You know, there'll be a number of weeds growing through the edge here, but some of it is tasty and he enjoys it. I mean, there are issues with, there's been horses that have been poisoned with sycamore and with oak, so you don't really want to be putting them in those areas in case they eat by accident, but generally they will pick out what's healthy for them. Anyway, I hadn't planned to talk about that, but Hoytzer gave me a good excuse to. Right, Hoytsy, come on, we need to take you out of here. I was just busy looking at my phone, which is wrong, and hadn't noticed that Hoytzer was coming over and having a chat to Angel Eyes. They were getting a little bit fresh with each other. But Hoytzer in the past used to just, with a lot of them, would turn round and try and kick out, but he's mellowed with age. Now, Hannes is bored of him. Look, Annie's having special time with Jubbers. That's good, because they're going to be out. Annie's going to be pulling the carriage, and Jubbers is going to be running behind. But Jubbers will be trying to run in front. Where are you off to, Angel? It's gone a little bit milder today, which is why they've got their rugs off. We're going to mutually groom each other now. That was a bit half-hearted. No, they're bored of each other now. Jubbers, are you not going to go and get in on the act? Do you want to come back in the turnout with Hoyts? Jubbers decide whether he wants to go free rein or come in with his buddy. And I think he's going to come in with his buddy. You coming to join him? Oh, you love your Hoytzer, don't you? What is it, Nero? Do you like the jangling bells? I don't know what to make of that. Hello, teddy bear. Show everyone little Jubbers in the back.
No.
I can't tell now.
This works.
We're not dragging him along.
Jodie's holding him. Yeah, literally just holding him. He's just following.
Do, 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 do. And at some point he'll be trying to overtake Annie. We're back at the yard, and Hol and Jodie both got off the carriage because Annie's lost a bit of fitness. And we never like to bring a full carriage back up because it is steep coming back up that hill. So she just had to put up with me for the last little bit. Well done, Annie.
Can you please hurry up and hitch it? Because I really need a pee.
There's a surprise. Hol needs another pee.
Yeah, I do.
No, I'm going to be really slow now. Yeah.
What? Spoil myself.
Oh, honestly. Little Jubbers, did you enjoy that, Jubbers?
Oh, thanks. It's alright.
Oh. Look who's come to play. It's Santa. It's our favourite Santa Claus. Come to see her favourite boy. He's up there waiting for you.
Jumpers! Junky Jobs! Come on,
So
you Jubbs.
Sharon is one of JB's #1 fans.
Come on, Jubbs, Jubbs.
She's led him around at our open days. Oh look, Hoytzer gets one first.
Hoytzer, good boy. Don't tell him.
She's done some beautiful pictures of the horses for us. Sponsored JB's rug and his head collar.
What I got?
Oh,
He says, come on, you. You got it.
he says, I need that, I'm tired. I just had to trot all the way around the village.
You've been to see everybody in the village, Mr. Man.
No, but so Sharon won our very, very beautiful Mabel scarf. Oh, that so suits you. I love it. All Wendy's scarves are amazing, but I think this is one of...
Oh, it is. It's lovely. And it's my favourite colour.
Yeah. we need a Jubbers scarf next, don't
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
So Wendy, if you're watching, that's
Jubbers.
the next one. But yeah, look at the detail on it.
Oh, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. It's lovely.
Oh, you won it! Yeah, she won the Mabel scarf. It really, really suits you.
It does.
Yeah.
Look at you,
Yeah.
you should have been a catwalk model.
Took that.
Oh, rubbish, rubbish. And Hole's in a beautiful dress today. Look, she found her grubby coat.
It's beautiful.
I know, it's stunning.
Anyway, I was going to come and suggest I'll make the coffee if you want to do Hannes's eyeball.
Okay,
So
I'll
that
go
you
back
can go
because I've
free
still
rein
got the
again.
comb here.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
will
This
go
is
back.
cherished and precious.
Yeah.
It is a sacred item.
Yeah, but that's not your comb. I think this is one of my original dog
It
grooming
is.
combs from when I used to have my own little dog grooming business.
I want to show. Sorry, I need to show everyone the secret comb. So it was made in England. Everybody, just like me, just like you. Were you made in England, Sharon?
I was made in England. I was made here.
At
What, on the
Greenbank
farm?
No, not on the farm.
I was gonna say, Sharon, what were your parents up to?
Well, you really don't want to know.
I don't want to know. Yeah, I was conceived in the Lake District. So was
I was
Sharon.
conceived in the back of a car after a Christmas party, I believe.
I think I was the back of a truck.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you see,
My
we have...
dad's truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Isn't
Good.
that
Yeah.
classy?
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
we're the classy ones, eh?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be classed to be conceived in the back of a truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this
Were
is.
you going to say something really important about the comb?
Yeah, this is going to go in the Frisian Experience Museum. So I've already got a few artifacts that are all ready to go in there when we get the museum built. We just need the museum building, really.
Can we fit you in the museum?
No, we're going to have a taxidermy Tracy in there when she dies.
Ah.
That's just disturbing,
Cryogenics.
Hole.
Yeah.
That's really disturbing. You go back to the coffee and I'll
we'll
go back
get
to
a
Hannes.
waxwork Tracy.
Yeah, but then you'd throw darts
And then
at
it'd
it or
have,
you'd
you
melt
know
me.
how museums have those little interactive buttons? There'd be one near you and you'd press it and your voice would come on going,
Oh, my life!
So
So mean.
So maybe.
And then I would reply and say,
Wait.
you're so mean.
Wait. So let's try it. So let's see. So right. So that it would work because you'd go as the interact press the nose.
Oh, my life.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, there we go.
Honey, you're so mean.
Yeah, that's how it'd work.
Right, I'm going back to Hannes. Give me
You
my
are.
phone. In case you were wondering why I had the comb for doing Hannes's eye, it's because this hair around here is really, really thick. So where he gets some weeping from his eye and it comes down here, it makes all of this part of his face quite crusty. That's my technical way of explaining it. So what I've done is I've just washed this whole area all round here with some Hibis scrub and some warm water, and then I just use the comb just to straighten the hair out and smooth it out to make sure that it's not all crusty still. And he actually likes a good scratch with it there, so because it weeps and the hair gets all horrible and, as I say, crusty. I should stop saying that word. It can get quite itchy underneath. Just by separating all the bits of hair, it just keeps it a little bit more comfortable for him. We were saying earlier, the skin round his eye is looking very, very dry. So although we put aloe vera cream on it every day, we're thinking that maybe there's a different type of cream that we can put on to help keep it nice and soft and supple. Annie, you have access to the hay bar. You also have access to grass everywhere, yet you choose to go in and try and eat Mabel's haylage. That's really naughty. Yeah, you can go and hide behind Sharon.
I'm not that big. Look at the state of you.
I know.
Whose haylage is that?
You've gone and rolled in your beautiful rug.
That's a beautiful rug.
It is very beautiful, but that's just because she's driven and she needed to just loosen off again. And we got Maaike free rein, who's just stood in the barn for the last hour, a bit confused. But I'm about to go and spend a bit of time with her, which is probably why she's wandering off now. I've just got the pressure halter out. Maaike, don't go off with Annie, because we're going to go and do some groundwork now. That was interesting, actually. I'm just taking Maaike up to the arena, and she went and chatted to Hoitzer. And as I mentioned in the earlier video, sometimes when Hoitzer chats to the others, he can turn around and try and kick out. And he didn't do it with Hannes this morning, but Maaike went to chat to him just now, and he decided that he didn't like her, and he turned around and tried to kick out. But you know, that's just the character that he is. He would never dream of doing it with people, but because he's so dominant with all the other horses, he's absolutely fine with JB. But with the other horses, if the mood takes him, he decides that he actually doesn't like them in his personal space. This is really nice for me, actually, because it's been full on over the last couple of weeks with getting our essential fundraising up and running for the winter. So that's taken up an awful lot of my time. And with Nero coming, I haven't had the time, which is often the case in the winter anyway, with reduced hours, to spend enough time with all the girls and boys to actually get stuck in with any training or just tuning into how they're feeling. So it's nice for me to come in here with Maaike, and she's come in and straight away she's relaxed down, which is really lovely, because when I first started the groundwork with her, and any work, you know, she was quite a stressy character, as you may have heard from Hol's video, her advent that she did with Maaike. Come on, young lady. We get a lot of jets flying over this area, so it's been quite noisy here this morning. You can see a couple of them just going over the horizon there. And the good thing is that all the horses, they're so used to the sound that it actually doesn't bother them. So sometimes they'll look, but they don't do anything silly, even if they fly straight over the top of the farm. And it's something I always say, that even if a helicopter was landing right by the arena, they still have to focus on what we're asking of them. So she's looking, but she's not going silly about it, because she knows that sound and she knows it's nothing to be scared of. You need Maaike. So first thing I do is always just little bit of pressure on the neck, just to ask her to let go of the tension. And all I want her to do is drop her head and neck down. In an ideal world, she'd do that and she'd start licking and chewing. So she almost gives like a false release of the tension. So she obliges, she drops her head down a little bit, but doesn't necessarily let go completely. Not to start with, anyway. And then I always start with the backing up and then coming forward before I start doing any work on a circle. there she's licking and chewing while she's stepping back, and ideally she steps back until she drops her head and neck down, but the fact that she was licking and chewing was a good thing. She's turning round because Hannes has decided to come and join us in the arena. But even though Hannes is in here, so we've got more jets coming over. Particularly noisy ones, and I think they've done that just to prove that actually sometimes it can be quite scary for them. But you may have noticed that I still stayed with a loose rope on her. I didn't try to hang on to her. So although she was a bit worried about it, I stayed very neutral, so that she knew that it was nothing that she needed to be terrified of. And then I just ask for the relaxation back. And and I can't blame her not wanting to stay with her head down and relaxed while that kind of noise is going on. And she's now looking up behind us because we've actually got deer running round the side of the arena, because I think the sound of the planes has brought them all out as well. See if I can show you a bit. I don't know whether you'll be able to see them. They're somewhere. There we go. There's one of them. You can just see them behind the woods. And then the peace returns. Hannes and Annie have run off now, but little Maaike has still stood there good as gold. Let's get back to our training session. Oh, Maaike. Oh, my darling. Oh, my darling. The idea is to do this until, not rush her, but until she does it with smoothness. So it's important for her to think about where she's putting her feet. Good girl. Girl, come on. So when they're not doing as much at this time of year, I do like to do the groundwork, especially if they've had a break. It's good to just get everything loosened off again. Whereas if I just got straight on her, she would have been tight, she would have been stiff, and she'd have found it a bit harder. Whereas at least doing a little bit of stretching work helps release that tension. It's where, horses that are stabled the whole time in the winter, I've heard people over the years saying, well, they're really naughty at this time of year. Well, it's because they need to get out and they need to move and they need to do their own yoga and Pilates, have a buck and a kick, because that's their way of releasing all that tension. You can imagine if you were just shut in a tiny little room for several hours and then you were asked to go out and run or carry somebody or do lots of stretches, it's going to be difficult for you. So it's generally not horses misbehaving, it's just the fact that they need that space, they need that freedom, and some need it more than others. Yeah. But this is where it's good that we keep our horses out as much as possible, even though the fields are muddy, because it means they can move around the whole time.
so that, you know, even if we've not worked them for a while, it doesn't matter, because they've kept themselves moving and they don't feel like they've been boxed in and trapped. Hey. So I just did some stepping her back and across with her, because she was falling on her right forehand. So I was just asking her to step across, which you won't have seen in the video because I went out of shot, and that's helping her to not fall in on this circle, helping her stretch and loosen a little bit more, and let go of that tightness through her back. Good girl. Good, and that's a good sign, the fact that she's flowing out through her nose. Okay, oh, good. 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 Good girl. Good girl, go back. Good. Good. Oh, good girl. Good girl. So I'm just trying to ask her to step across with this leg backwards to help release the tension that's here. And she gets a bit irritated with me on this rein, and sometimes she'll try and, she doesn't bite me, but she'll try and open her mouth and aim towards me, because that's her way of telling me that it's a bit difficult. So she steps back with it, but she doesn't step across so well. Good, good. Good girl, good. So it is hard for her, but you know, sometimes you have to push through that barrier. Good girl. Because I've done that, she's a bit more let go now. Ask her to step across with that hind leg, just slowly. Yeah. She does like to try and rush things when they get difficult. Yeah. Good. If I put my hand up, she knows that that means she has to put her head down. Okay? Okay. Good. Okay. That was a good transition. She's a good girl. Yeah? She's a very good girl. She's a very good girl. She says it's very So that was just a little bit of Maaike's training session. She's just so lovely to work with, aren't you? Because she tries so hard, don't you, Maaike? Even though there's planes going over, and deer running round the place, you just try so hard. You're so beautiful. Yeah. She says it's scary, Mum. But she doesn't run. She just looks and says, oh, it's frightening, but I'm going to trust you. I'm going to stay with you. Because it's important I give her the confidence by just staying calm myself.
It took me shouting at them probably about 20 times before they figured out to come through here and come and get their feeds. Who have we got up front? It's Iceman. Iceman, Nero, Obi-Wan, and of course out the back it's Teddy Bear. Look, you can come and eat today on nice solid ground. That's one. Obi-Wan, there's one over here for you. No, look over here. Look. How nice to not have to stand in mud. Come on, Nero. Come on. I promise I'll keep Obi away from you. Come on. Yours is over here. This way. Keep away from Obi-Wan. Oh, look at that mud. There you go. Look, nice ground. Look at those legs. Come on, Teddy Bear. Teddy Bear, it's here. It's here. Come here. Look, it's down here. Oh, what a difference. How lovely.